Sandeep, you are sounding very confident, friend. You have to tell me your secret.
Yeah, my secret is nothing. Just I have.
So we try not to use any of the complex vocabulary, but just and I see a lot of movies. It's just exaggerate stuff. So if you really wanna focus on the pronunciation, accent, and the vocabulary that the American use, I would say maybe start with something like podcast.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
mostly I like to watch videos, not movies. Videos like means the conversation, basic conversation podcast, like talking about any situation, circumstances, or different type of scenario or places. So yeah, I like to watch to learn the pronunciation as well as accent also.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And I've seen like there are a lot of teachers nowadays, and you have a lot of tools. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of apps that you can download that will teach you or at least give you some ideas about how to say certain words. And also, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of American on YouTube that are teaching pronunciation and accents. So you can just subscribe to one of those teachers, just stick to that and listen to them and learn from them. And also, when it comes to practice, whatever you learn, if you want to practice, you can come on this app, or there are a lot of other apps where you can actually talk to people from native speaker, and you can, practice whatever you learn.
Yeah, definitely. When I talk with native speaker, I feel comfortable.
Sandeep, you are sounding very confident, friend. You have to tell me your secret.
Yeah, my secret is nothing. Just I have been learning this language from Jan 2024. So from the beginning uh, I was some friend. Even I have some friend. She is from United States and native speaker, English speaker. So yeah, mostly talk with her. So from the beginning, I have experience, so I can understand native speaker. Mostly, I can understand perfectly, US people. But when I talk with the person who are from UK, I'm not able to understand very well. UK accent, British accent, really little bit difficult compared to the American accent. Am I right, Andy?
Yep, it is very different. Even in the UK, there are a lot of different accents. So I think the standard one is London accent. So wherever you hear in the movies and on the news, they use this very standard UK accent, which is London accent. But if you talk to someone from Liverpool or someone from, I think it was West Side or East Side, I'm not really sure, but they have a very thick and different accent, and half the time I don't understand what they're saying. But also in America, there are so many different accents. Even in New York, there are like the OG accent, which is like the old school New Yorker accent, which is really hard and really thick. So it will be hard to understand those people, and then there is like Hispanic American accent, there is an African American accent, there is an Asian American accent. So yeah, accent can differ from person to person based on the state that you live in or the city that you live in, or even sometimes the neighborhood that you grew up and live in can determine what kind of accent you can have.
Yes, you're clear. Accent is important when I am going and when I'm talking with the person. For example, if I have to go to America or if I have a friend, I am and I have to talk with some native, some American, then accent will be useful. For example, in India we have our own accent, that is Indian accent. So even if I talk with Indian people, or if I live in India, so accent is not necessary for if I will be there for and if I talk with the people in our country. So yeah, accent is important when I have to talk with the people of that country, and I have to go there for work or any kind of purpose. I think.
Right.
Yeah,
So
for example,
it could
I'm
be
sorry.
no. So it could be right and it could be wrong. So here's the thing: accent is not really important because a lot of people put us too much efforts on accent rather than fluency, right?
Yeah.
If you are fluent in English, it doesn't matter what kind of accent you have. A lot of people, especially in the United States, understands that when you are not born in America or raised in America, you can have a different accent. You know, your accent is influenced by your native language. So you speak, probably you're from India, you have your own native language, right? Your accent will be influenced by how you speak your native language.
Yeah,
Every
surely.
every language have a different mouth movement. The way you roll your tongue when you say certain things will affect how you speak English, and you know how you pronounce certain things. So I don't think it is really important. It's up to you. If you really want to change it, you can, right? But it is not really like, mandatory or compulsory to change it. You can keep the same accent, but as long as you can comprehend what you're saying, or I can comprehend what you are saying, which in right now I can understand everything that you're saying, so you're good.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say like it is more important to work on your fluency to make sure that if you have anything to say, if you want to say anything, you got an idea that you wanna tell me, you should be able to make it clear so that I could, it's very articulate and I could understand everything that you're saying. As long as you can do that, then you're good. Accent is not that important.
Andy, I have a question for you and for Sandeep as well, because you are so confident. What happened with me, for example, that when I am very relaxed and very at home, for example, when I don't have to show my English, when my English is just for me, I can do it well, not very well, but using all the English that I have. But when speaking with people, I don't know, my confidence always goes down, and my English, as a consequence of that, goes down as well. So, what kind of advice could you give me just to overcome that such a situation?
All right. So I can understand what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're going through, because a lot of people that I talk to are non-native speakers. They have the same kind of like concern. When they talk to someone, they feel like, okay, am I making a mistake? Is that sentence correct? Should I use this vocabulary or should I use that vocabulary? So now you're thinking about a lot of things rather than just trying to focus on what you want to say, right? And that kind of just dumb down your confidence, and you just overthink everything before you say it. You just keep thinking about the things that you want to say rather than just say it, and let other people correct your mistake. You know, learning language is hard. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. If you can accept that, if you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna make a mistake, that's fine. And I'm gonna learn from my mistake, and I'm just gonna, learn it and then move forward and practice it. If you have that mentality, your confidence will boost immediately. You don't even have to work on it. But if you're so scared of making a mistake, if you feel like every sentence that I say, oh, is that, is my grammar correct? Is the vocabulary that I use is just correct, or should I use other one? You just overthink. It will just affect on your confidence, and you won't be able to speak. So what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to make mistake. Make mistake, that's fine. It's part of learning.
Yes,
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think, for example, in my case, I would say that because of the fact that I already know that I can do it well, not well, but I can do it enough. It's a way of saying that. Yeah, when I don't do it the way I like it, yeah, it is something, I don't feel good. My confidence goes down, and it's frustrating because uh, deep down you know you can do it better.
Yeah. So yeah, don't focus too much on just.
Hello, guys.
Yeah,
How are you
Cali.
doing?
It's Cali.
Okay, so
Yeah, but I understand your point of view about the accent, but I'm wondering, for example, for the American people, I think there is a formal English when we are learning. I'm wondering if there is a formal English that we have to learn about the accent. I think, for example, if a person are learning at university, when you are talking, there is a way you have to talk. There is how can I say that? We have a formal accent we have to talk. For example, when you're I think, for example, when I'm for my country, when you go in a different region, but you can find some people who speak a different accent from you. But there is a formal way. There is a formal one you write. When you are talking, when you are writing, they are teaching at school. It's very. I think there is if I think if that is one you have to learn. I don't know if you understand what I want to say.
Let me see if I got it right. So you're talking about formal English and informal English, right?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, that is correct. You have to have formal English when you're working in a professional environment and you try to talk to your boss or any of your colleagues. You have to have formal English. You cannot be using the regular informal conversational English to them because that would be rude. That would be unprofessional. But right now we're talking about conversational English. So yeah, in a formal environment, you gotta use some kind of vocabulary which you would not use on a regular conversational English. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand you.
Yeah, formal.
Because I got you. Because but I think when you're learning a language, you have to focus on about the informal word. If with the difference with the informal word with the formal word, because there is some word you use. There is some phrases you use when you talk with your friend, with your colleague, like that. But when you're in some place, you have to talk the formal one. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So the best example that I can give you, it's a very small example, but it could be the best example right now. So the informal English conversation is like if I see you in New York on the streets, I would probably say like, "Hey, what's good?" So that means I'm asking you, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? But if we are in a professional environment and we are colleagues, or maybe you are my manager or something like that, and if I see you, I would not say, "Hey, what's good," because that would be really unprofessional and really rude. I'm saying we are in a professional environment right now, so I would probably say like, "Hello, sir, how are you?" You know what I'm saying? So there's just like informal way of saying things and formal way of saying things. It depends on these. It depends on the environment. It depends on the time and place, right? When I see you outside, I'll be like, "Hey, what's good?" But when I see you inside the building where we work together, I would probably not gonna use the word like "what's good." I would probably say like, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah,
So yeah, there
exactly.
are certain ways of saying things. You got to keep that in mind. But I would say like most of the time, majority of the time, we use English outside of the professional areas, right? Out of 24 hours, we might use English for professional, maybe like an hour or two. But the remaining like 23 hours, we would use English outside with our friends, with the strangers. When you're talking to a stranger, you're not going to use professional English, right? Because that's just for the work environment. You try to connect with the person. You try to build a rapport. And when so if I start using professional English right here, right now, we're probably not going to have a rapport. We're probably going to have a relationship with teacher and students, not the relationship of friends. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. It's right. You're right.
In actual is also in our native language we use this consonant. For example, formal and informal. Formal means informal means we just making conversation for fulfill the stress. Even in I work, if I am a teacher, so when I talk with our teachers or colleague in lunch period or in other periods, so yeah, just we can talk uncasually, so just for without using any rules regulations, or formal means rules regulations, the have to follow while talking, have to give respect. But when we talk with people or friends, you don't need to follow the all rules. So similarly will be applied in English. In English also have to uh, when we talk in English with the people, it should be aware whom you are talking, whom with you are talking. So yeah, we have
Right. Exactly.
to yeah.
So guys, let's say hello to Ravi, because Ravi is
It's Ruby.
a good speaker as well.
It's Ruby.
Sorry. Ruby, hello.
I just wanted to say something. I wanted to commend Andy for the clarity of having the accent, whether it's American accent or British accent, because I hardly understand why people focusing on accent. Most of the people that I heard in this application, I heard I want to have American accent. Well, in fact, we have different phonetics. It's just that we are privileged. Filipinos are privileged to have the counterpart of their phonetics or the diphthongs, so we can easily adapt how American or even Nihong, even Arab countries or everywhere in the world, will easily adapt how they speak their language. But the thing is that Andy boasting our confidence when it comes to English language. He said that it's better to focus on fluency, being brilliant when it comes to vocabulary, converse in a profound way, rather than concentrating the accent.
I got you, Robbie. But I think, for those trained people, when they want to learn English, for example, when they there is some of them, they want to go at university. When they arrive at university, sometimes they can, if they have the TOEFL test, for example, if they ask them for the TOEFL test, I think to pass the TOEFL test, you have to sound like you have to sound in a formal manner. You have to have a good accent. Like you have to sound like the English American to pass the TOEFL test. I think in that case, that is why some of them want to sound like an American people, because sometimes you're gonna pass an exam if you don't sound like an American. Because it's very difficult to sound like an American, because for a person who speaks Spanish, for a person who speaks French, for a person who speaks Japanese, Portuguese, it's very difficult for you. It will never happen that you speak like an American. It's very difficult. But I think you can try to master accent. I think in some time that is good to make effort. That depends your plan. I think I don't know if you understand what I say.
So Kelly, I understood what you're saying, and I have to disagree with you, because I went through I didn't take the test, but I went through the concept of the test and did not like the guys who's taking the interview is not looking for your accents. They don't really care about your accent. They're looking for pronunciation and your confidence in speaking English, whether it's IELTS or TOEFL. Because I read through their terms and conditions and what they are actually looking for, and it says that, what they want is a kind of person who can understand grasp, and when they're in an environment where everyone speaks English, they can confidently, speak their mind and not just shy away and just like not able to understand what other people are saying. That's the whole concept of IELTS and TOEFL tests. So that's what I learned. In fact, I have a guy who I was helping for a while. He was going through the IELTS test, and let me tell you something. He don't have any American accent. 'Cause the problem was he had some pronunciation problem. He was pronouncing certain words incorrectly, so I was trying to correct that, and he still have his accent. He went and gave this test, and he passed the test with a 7.5 some points, and he passed this test. And he don't have any of the American accent. So it's just like I said, they're looking for confidence in the way you speak English, and they want to make sure that when you are in an environment when everyone else speaks English, you can comprehend them and you can respond to them in English regardless of your accent. So that's actually what they're looking for.
Okay, I understand you. I should say the pronunciation. It's not the accent.
That's on point.
But mostly people they speak mispronunciation. That means that they have become habitual in a bad pronunciation. They earlier they was listening. They have already listened the sound of any word. Exactly this that was not good or not correct. So yeah, I'm a teacher. I'm teaching you. So I'm looking. Some student are speaking their their spelling mispronunciation because they have listened earlier in environment in everywhere. So we have to recorrect and we have to know what is correct pronunciation, because people become habitual in a incorrect pronunciation and they think like that was or that is a good pronunciation, but exactly that is incorrect pronunciation. So mostly we have to focus on the pronunciation, because in English the most part is the pronunciation, after that grammar, because you are not spelling or spell or pronunciate any word good. That means you have to work on it.
But Sandeep, for Spanish speaker, it is complicated because we are used to pronouncing the words like they are written, certainly that they are written. So in English, as you well know, is very different. So that's why for us it's a big effort, because in my case, for example, I mispronounce a lot of words, a lot of. And my English teacher, because this year I decided to attend to a kind of English course, an official one in my country. She tries to correct me all the time because as I said, I mispronounce it every time. But it is normal because I'm used to do it with the way they are written.
Yes.
Andy, you want to say the pronunciation is more important than the accent, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I get you, because the pronunciation is very important, because sometimes if you pronounce a word a different way, sometimes you can like you say the good word, but you say another, you want to say another things. That's the problem. The pronunciation is very important.
Exactly. But anyways, guys, it was so nice talking to you. I have to go now. Sandeep,
Okay,
thank you
Andy.
for
So
bringing
Andy,
me up on stage.
Andy, I want to meet you again. So how can I connect with you?
I'm not really sure. I'm not using this app a lot, but like every time you open your party, you can just send me a notification, and if I have time, I will definitely join your party.
Okay, surely I have followed you, and I will send you.
All right.
Okay,
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you for the statement you've given us. You're sharing to us.
Oh, no problem. It was my pleasure.
Goodbye. Thank you. Have a nice one.
Kelly, I can relate to you. Pronunciation is vital to every languages, because if you mispronounce the word, it has a different meaning. So we need to be conscious with our pronunciation. Though it's a cool thing, it's cool if you can adapt any accent that you want, whether it's American or British accent. But being fluent, as what Andy said, this is important comparing to adapting an accent, because in IELTS, I think it has 4 categories: the reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So if you couldn't comprehend because you're just focusing on your accent, I think you cannot get a good grade on IELTS or any English test. But it's okay, because I can understand that you are left alone if you don't have the accent. Sometimes you couldn't pass any interview for a job because your interviewer might discriminate your accent.
Yeah, I understand your point, Obi, but like I said, I don't know if you can get what I want, because when you for example, if you go to an interview, when you arrive at the interview, that depends on the times of the person who are making the interview with you. If you are making an interview to a receptionist, for example, at a hotel, They're gonna make sure that your accent, that your your pronunciation is good. They're gonna, because you're gonna interact with different people. You're gonna talk with people, that depend, for example, what types of job that you want to do. I don't know if you understand.
I agree. If you are working in a cruise ship or you're working in an airlines, of course, you need to have a brilliant